Do you like hot sauce? Do you like comics? Do you like wrestlers? Do you like wrestlers who eat hot sauce as they write comics and books? This guy has done more than anybody I think I've had on the show. And I thought I was a busy man and had no time for anything. But it seems like always when there's something around the corner, that's opportunity. I love people who are into that. I love visionaries. Let's call this man a visionary today on Tasty Topics.
You're so tasty.
So as you're chomping on the bit saying, who is it? Who is this masked man? But he never wore a mask. Not that I remember. I never thought you wore a mask. Here we are, the wrestler, the comic book author, the authored hot sauce extraordinaire. Here we go, Brimstone.
What's going on, brother? Finally, Brimstone's made it to Tasty Topics. About to get tasty today. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready.
That would be my wrestler, the Tasty.
The Tasty.
I'll throw stuff in the audience at people. The Tasty.
I'm gonna break into you with some taste and flavor. You know, what do you call it? Throw a little flavor on it. You know what I mean? Slap a little sauce on it. You know,
catchphrase. Slap a little sauce on it. That'll be my signature move. The Tasty turnbuckle sauce dropper.
Just throw a little sauce on the turnbuckle and, you know, eat it like George used to do. You know what I mean?
Put the face in it. What's up, man? Listen, you've done more than I think I could ever imagine wanting to do. I mean, you are a visionary if I've ever seen one.
I appreciate that.
Everybody tells me, so what's going to be next? That's what they say to me. And when as I was doing I knew you as a wrestler. I had followed some of your exploits in the comic world. And I said to myself, man, no, this guy, like he's got it going on. So let's take a dive into this, what we're really here about. I mean, you're not wrestling anymore.
No.
Right?
I'm semi-retired. You never say never, you know. And you know, I say that simply because, listen, I love the ring. I love the business. Not necessarily the politics in the business, but I love the business. And you know, I've been speaking with a couple of friends from the past. I might do something, you know, in the future. If I did, it would be for charity or something like that. But what do you call it? At the end of the day, it's I don't have the time to get back in the ring, to be completely honest. I don't have the time. And, you know, I'd like to think I'd still have the energy, but, you know, like, you know,
we all think that,
you know, as you and I spoke off air, you know, we used to be one time, you know, built like brick it houses, you know what I mean? And, you know, at this time I'm getting a little flabby around the midsection a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot of bit. And, yeah, and then I don't know if I'd be able to hack it in the ring like I used to, but, you know, I never say never. So I'd say semi-retired. I'll never say fully retired, semi-retired.
maybe a guest spot here or there coming in the future.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll tell you, man, I got into hot sauce while doing meal prep when I was a bodybuilder. It changed the chicken up, the bland chicken and broccoli every day. There's only so many ways you can cook chicken healthy, and it tastes another way. And hot sauce for me was the way I changed it up on a daily basis. So take me to your start in the world of heat and hot sauce.
Oh, all right. So, you know, when I was getting out of, you know, the wrestling industry, I guess you'd say, and trying to figure out, okay, well, what's next? What am I going to do next? Because you've always got to think 3 steps forward, because again, you know, the older you get, certain things you can't do, as we were just talking about, you know, certain things are not, I didn't want to be 60, 70 years old, still bumping around in a ring. It's basically what it is. And, you know, I've already built my character, I built my brand, and, you know, I wanted to continue to build my brand. And I said, all right, well, what's best after wrestling? I said, well, what are wrestlers? Wrestlers are real life comic book characters, right? So I was like, well, you know, I always loved comic books. Matter of fact, you know, that was one of my first loves, was comic books. I wanted to be a comic book artist. So you know, I already had my character, the Brimstone character from wrestling. And since I was an old school gimmick guy, I had a gimmick. I knew exactly what my character was, who he was, and where, you know, how he got there. You know what I mean? I had a whole story. So it was a whole gimmick. And I sat down with my friend Marcello, who was also in the business, and the two of us sat down for what was supposed to be like an hour cup of coffee. Turned out to be like 3-4 hours. We wrote out the entire Bible for the comic book, the animated series, and everything. I mean, it was just, you know, it was insane. So you know, taking that and moving it forward a bit, you know, once we got the project running and everything was up and ready, we were the only independently owned and operated comic in every Barnes and Noble and B Dalton in the country. So I had to go out and then promote the product. I had to promote, the comic book, and also we built a publishing company, Hound Comics Inc. So I needed to go out and promote everything. So my director of operations at the time, Aton Wish, great guy, and he said to me, he goes, well, what do you want to do, here, there, and the next thing, because he was planning out the tour. And I go, well, Aton, I said, if I'm going back out there and I'm going to be hitting the road again, because I did it in music, I did it in wrestling, I did, you know what I mean? I was in acting as a child, I did, it's all the traveling. And I said, at the end of the day, if I'm going to travel again, I want to see the sights. I want to see where I am. I don't want it to just be trains, planes, and automobiles and the
In a
insides
hotel
of
room.
arenas or hotel rooms. I want to go see what I'm doing, because I listen, I hustle and I work. I'm not like any, quote unquote public figure that you've ever seen, because I will get up and do the early morning, media. You know what I mean? I'll stay after the event and do the media afterwards, then show my face at the after parties, then finally get a chance to eat. That's the kind of guy I am, because I want to make sure that I'm there for the people, and I'm always about the audience, and so that being said, he said, well, what do you want to do, Brim? And I go, well, I like to eat. I'm good at it. I said, well, maybe we should do something with food, and he's like, all right, well, like what? And I go, well, let's do a food show. You know what I mean? So let's do it. So we wound up putting together this internet series called Food Hound Tidbits, and it took off like that. It was pretty insane. What do you call it? We did this all around the country. What do you call it? And no matter which area we went to, we were doing, 5-star restaurants, and then, small mom and pop hot dog shops. You know what I mean? Just whatever was like the coolest place in the area to check out. So, make a long story longer. I was signing out in Ohio, and what do you call it? One of the things that I'd always do when I was out in different areas is, my buddy Bumblefoot, he used to be the guitarist for Guns N' Roses. Now he's with Asia and some other bands that he does. He does a ton of different things, but he's one of the best guitarists in the world, and he tours all the time. So he's always continuously trying to find the hottest, hot sauce, the, whatever's got the highest Scoville, unit. And I'm sitting here going, all right, well, anywhere I go, if I see any place that does hot sauce, I try to find him the hottest one. I'll call him and be like, all right, well, is this one hot enough for you? Which, he's like, no, 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 that's not hot enough. And his, Bullwinkle voice, and love that man to death. And he, what do you call it? So I was in Ohio, and I had a crazy day. It was just like I was packed, and it was continuous flow. And people kept telling me about the North Market, which was across the way. And I was like, all right, well, North Market, I wasn't familiar with it, surprisingly. And they're like, oh yeah, it's a big foodie place over there. There's lots of things. And people were coming over with like these big bags of popcorn for me. And I'm like, where the hell are you getting this popcorn from? Oh, it's for Popcorn Pam's across the way at the North Market. Popcorn Pam's across the way at the I'm like, okay. So I told Aton, I said, I'm sneaking the hell away for a little bit because I need to take a break. So I went across the way with a couple of my handlers, and they walked me in and through. We found Popcorn Pam's, and I said to her, I go, all I've been hearing about it is Popcorn Pam. Talk to me, let me know what your story is. Because one of the things about Food Hound Tidbits is the tidbits was tidbits of information. So we would try to find the story. You know what I mean? We wanted to know a little bit about the place and the history and how you got there and what you're doing. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I asked her, I said,
No, nope. You said no.
so I asked, I said, hey, look, I can talk, man. So I apologize ahead of time. So, so I said to Pam, I said, I want to taste your wares here. The people have been bringing it over. But I definitely wanted to taste what you had. And I think that we should do a Food Hound Tidbit with you. We told them about it. She's like, absolutely. So later on, after hours, we came back. We started doing the filming, and she breaks out these caramel apples. All right. And it was, so there were popcorn caramel apples, but they had a heat to them.
Oh,
I took a bite of it, and it was real sweet, delicious, and it had layers. And all of a sudden, the building heat, you know what I mean? Right in the back, it was just like, "Ooh, this is nice." I said, "That is amazing." I said, where'd you get that spice from?" I said, did you put this together yourself?" He goes, "Oh, no, 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 no. Spice Daddy did that for me. My buddy Spice Daddy. I call him Spice Daddy." I said, "Okay, Spice Daddy, that's cool." He's like, and I told her the story about Bumble, and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, he'll definitely have something for you." I'm going, "Okay, cool. Introduce me." So she brought me over to this little booth, which turned out to be K John's. They had a small booth in the North Market, and they said, "Well, we don't have a hot enough sauce here that you're looking for, but John will definitely know, what to give you." It's like, okay, sounds good. Now, for those of you who don't know who John Hart is, K John's, he's like the godfather of hot sauce. He's the granddaddy of them all, and good friend now, and very very good guy. So basically, I gave him my information. And I'm driving home from not home. I'm driving to the next place on tour, from Ohio. I don't remember where we're headed, but I got a phone call, about 2-3 hour conversation with John himself, and the two of us were going back and forth. And I go, I've always loved, my sauces, my seasonings. I always put stuff together myself. And Bumble has always wanted to do a hot sauce. I said, what would you think about maybe working with us and maybe doing, a project together, and putting some stuff out? Because he knew who we were, and he was like, "Yeah, I'd love to do that. Let's set it up." So we set up a date, which was a pain in the ass considering the three of our schedules. Which was always conflicting. And we went down there for 4 days to Ohio, and 4 days went by. We came up with a whole entire line of sauces and seasonings, and we put them out into the world. So it became an amazing, amazing thing for me, because again, I'm always looking for that next progression for whatever I'm doing. So wrestling, comic books, inside the comic books, all my sauces and seasonings are inside my comic books. So this way, it's everybody kind of, it makes sense. And then if you're doing a food series, or you're doing something with food, well, then you should be doing something in the foodie world. So everything intertwines with me.
Great branding.
Yes, that's
I
that's the
mean,
way I brand.
branding 101, and a lot of people don't do that,
No,
unfortunately.
no, and they don't, some people don't understand it, but it's for me, people that love the comic book and they love the Brimstone brand will know, oh, it's in the comic. Oh my God, I can have a grindhouse burger. See, a grindhouse burger was also my grindhouse seasoning, grindhouse radio. You see how it all flows into each other. So, sweet heat treat chicken wings or whatever it is, even my grub munchies, I have a candy line, you know what I mean? So I had the stuff that was in the candy, and the people that I did the candy with, she's the daughter of the guy who created Jelly Bellies. You know what I mean? So, like, I always want quality. So John Hard and K John's was quality. So that being said, yes, we did find, by the way, the hottest thing the Bumble has ever had.
There's
So
been a
we
one.
succeeded in that.
It's so subjective. Heat is so subjective to people. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
give somebody something I think is just off the chain, and they're like, "Oh, this is
Oh,
excuse me."
those chili heads, brother. The chili heads are crazy, man.
What?
It is such an insane world. And and I'll tell you one thing, and I joke about it often. I don't know if you know John. Do you know John and Sue from
Yeah.
K John's? Okay, so Sue, she's a little devil, that woman. I love her to death. She is the little devil, because comes like a sweet, sweet woman, and she's so tiny and so sweet. Oh, she used to burn me out every single time she had the chance. That little devil. I love love that woman. She was, she come up and, "Oh, Brim, oh, have a here, I have this cornbread. I made this cornbread. You need to try it. It's so delicious. Oh my God." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm thinking I'm having something, like something delicious, and I pop it in my mouth, and I don't think about it first because it's Sue. So, and then all of a sudden my eyes just pop up, everything starts watering. I'm like, I can't believe you just got me again. But that was the world of doing like touring with chili heads. Everybody's topping the next, like trying to get you with the hottest stuff. And it's an incredible group of people. And I've missed being around them. I've missed, my friends in the industry. I've missed because again, we're on different trails. and and I miss that community. So a couple of years later, obviously after having the product out, John was deciding, after some health issues and all the stuff that was going on with him, he opted that he was going to sell K-Johns. So he had to stop doing, everything that he had on the side with co-packing and all that jazz. And instead he was selling, and he sold to Hot Shots. So I didn't put my product through Hot Shots. I, was like, all right, well, I'm on hold. And I didn't have the time to sit and invest in figuring out who I was going to deal with to put the product out next, because I'm all about quality. And if I don't think that you're going to put out my product the way I expect it to be put out, it's not going to happen.
I think people don't realize that if I have a bottle of your hot sauce that the quality control wasn't the same, maybe it was not put in at this temperature, maybe it was this, that, or the other, whatever the condition issues are, and somebody comes over and says, "Man, have you tasted Brim's hot sauce? It tastes like crap." And the other goes, "No, it's amazing." And two bottles side by side could be completely different because of quality
Right.
control. That's what
Yeah.
I respect about you. Other than your drive, I respect so much about you is your being hands-on to want to make sure the product goes out there. Because at the end of the day, that not only is your name attached to
It's
it,
my brand.
but it's your brand, but you could be turning off so many people because one idiot packaged it wrong compared to the other 500 bottles.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's insane. And for me, I am very hands-on in everything I do, because I'm 46. I've spent so many years building my name, building my brand. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm all about the audience. I'm all about the people who've supported me, from day one to, last night. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that if somebody says, okay, I'm supporting Brim and I'm going to pick up a bottle of his product, if I'm going to pick up his book, if I'm going to do this or that, it's going to be quality. And I know that it's going to be quality. And if I'm spending the money on it, it's going to be well worth it, and that's something that is very important to me. And the Chili Head universe, I mean, they're just so amazing. They're so inclusive, and they're so so free. And what's really funny is I had said to John years ago, I had said after doing a bunch of events with him, and I'm like, it's just like doing the Comic Cons where all the celebs are we're all hanging out after the events, and we're kind of just hanging out and just spending time and enjoying each other's company, because we don't see each other outside of that. We're all on different paths. So what do you call it, the Chili, it's the same thing, just a different same different field, same stuff, same grass, and so years went by, and originally I was going to take my stuff because Ed Puckerbutt, what do you call it, Ed Curry is another friend of mine, and we were going to do it together. I was going to go out with him, and we were going to talk about putting my stuff back out on the market. And what do you call it, it's just the time was just never there, because he's doing 1,000,003 things, I'm doing 1,000,003 things, but the one consistent thing was that at first I was the only person doing my sauces and doing sauces and seasonings when I was at my Comic Cons. You know what I mean? So I'm signing, and doing my signings, but I'd also be like, hey, try this, blah, 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 blah. And that's how I was, having people get the opportunity to taste it. And what do you call it? The soon after I didn't have the sauce and seasonings, what do you call it? Torchbearers, who I've always admired their brand. I've always loved their branding, their sauces in general, the people behind the products. I've always admired them. I've watched them come up. You know what I mean? I watched them grow in the industry, and then they started doing the events, which was a perfect match for Comic Cons, because that's their brand. You know what I mean? Their brand is crazy, kooky, cartoony, and that's them. So I've known Ben forever. I've known Vid forever. Ben and I had been talking for many years, and every time we'd see each other at the conventions, we'd be like, we should do a collab sauce. We should do something together. We should do something we have to do it. The brands work so well together. We should just do it and have some fun. And then finally, at the beginning of this year, we'd seen each other, I think like a couple months earlier. And I was like, I called him up and go, Ben, we need to do this. Let's set it up. He's like, I'm game. When can we do it? We figured schedules out, and I brought my son Dylan, and the two of us went out to Pennsylvania, and we sat down with Ben and Vid, and we put together this sauce. And the Torchstone Thai is what we got, and it's just an unbelievable sauce. It's sweet. It's heat. It's everything you want in a bottle of hot sauce. I got to tell you, it is a dream upon dreams.
And
Here we go. Ready? Got to
not
clink.
opened
Ready?
it.
Clink it. Clink it. There we go. Clink. There we
I
go.
have not. So I decided that, you know, you get a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's great, man," but I'm going to taste it for the first time.
I hope you like it. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. But yeah, no. So my whole thing with Torchbearers is it was a long time coming, you know, and we got there, we did it, and it was such a beautiful thing, and I'm very proud of what we put together.
The logo is great. It's great that it's a tie.
Mhm.
Main, you know, I tried so hard not to open this bottle and or read this bottle whatsoever because I didn't want to know what the ingredients.
Okay.
I wanted to taste it. Now, me, when I taste the hot sauce for the first time, everybody has a different thing. They're like, "Oh,
Sure.
I'd put it on my finger, I put it on a spoon." Well, here's the deal. This is my mentality because I'm crazy. It's like whether I like coffee has to be a certain way. If I like cigars, they have to be certain. I want to get the best flavor out of it. I
Of
feel like on
course.
my finger, if I washed it with certain kind of soap, it's gonna bother it. If I
Right.
do it on a spoon, it could be metallic. Is that the hot sauce? Is that the spoon?
Right.
Me, they always and tortilla chips too salty most of the time.
Right.
And there are millions of guys out there and girls who will tell you their own. This is just me, so don't write me a letter or send me social media saying I'm an idiot because this is how I do it. You can kiss my hot sauce, but I like to use an unsalted cracker because if your mom gave this to you because you were sick because it was so dry and flavorless that if I put a hot sauce on it, I'm gonna, you know, wake it up a little bit. So here we go. Here
All
we
right,
go.
so you're giving it a shot. Should we should have a drum roll going. Of course, I can't do it that long because you know it's taking a while. If you see, it's nice and thick. It's not going to just
Like
pour
that.
out on you.
Yeah, I'm also going careful. So here we go. Got
Here
a
we
nice
go.
little. It sucks because I'm putting so much and I'm not so sure. Here we go. Put it in here.
It shouldn't kill you. It shouldn't kill you. So now you should be getting the sweet right about now.
Hmm.
And then you should be getting the flavor. You should taste the garlic. You should taste the cumin. You should taste the what do you call it? The curry a little bit. And now the heat should start coming up on you. You know, you got that scorpion, you got that reaper, you know, and that's what I'm talking about. So you got to have more because it's that addictive, right?
Well, here's the thing. You're right on when everything hits you on your
Yep.
palate. Right? I love that the spices are so pure before the heat kicks in.
Oh yeah.
There's
Oh, yeah.
nothing worse than, especially we're talking about chicken and meal prep, why you're putting hot sauce on because you want to burst the flavor, right?
Right.
There's nothing worse to me than getting the heat forward.
Right. Right.
And the mouth feel, right? People talk about this all the mouth feel of any kind of food. You're a foodie like me.
Mm-hmm.
The mouth feel is so important. The consistency is so
Yes.
important because there's sometimes the heat will go in, and if it's too watery, it's like burning everything. You're not allowing it to sit on your palate. But I gotta go for more because I
You're
want
getting the heat. You're getting the heat. I see it. It's good. So you're getting the flavor, you're getting the heat. And that's the thing is and
sweet
it-
heat, man. It's so good.
it's good though.
I'm not kissing your ass.
No.
I'm telling you, this is a great sauce.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, when I sat down with John originally from when I did the original line, you realize that most of my stuff was not ultra hot. Most of my stuff was sweet with a little bit of heat, but the right amount, and they had layers. Everything had layers. It's important to me to have layers. So, what do you call it? So for me, you know, I didn't do a ultra hot until after my stuff was out and successful. Then I went back and I did necrocide. You know what I mean? And my necrocide was an ultra hot. And yes, again, I had to have the flavor up front and then the crippling heat behind it. This is the same type of a thing. I wanted something. I love Asian food. I love the Asian style of flavor. What do you call it? The flavor behavior is ridiculous in it. So what I do is I wanted something that was gonna kind of throw a little bit of Asian flavor and what do you call it? Be good on everything. So you know, with this, I think we hit the mark, and I'm super excited about it because knock on wood, everybody that's had it has gone crazy over it. What do you call it? Except for my wife. My wife can't stand it, but that's okay. I'm just kidding.
I love the papaya pineapple.
And you get it, you taste it.
Do and the honey, and a lot of times somebody will use molasses or how sugar is so important. I'm a rum guy,
Uh-huh.
but it's so important how they treat the sugar cane
Oh yeah.
in order to get a rum. It's with anything. How do you treat the ingredients before you put it in there? A lot of times, you'll have a charred, almost bitter flavor to a hot sauce that doesn't treat the molasses how it's added into the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And I get this real nice honey, cumin, curry. You're right,
Mm-hmm.
without it being
Overpowering.
overpowering.
Can't be overbearing, and that's
And
the
the
thing
other
with
thing I like to do is I have to wash it down, and I'm washing it not
with the cores.
the core. Well, and I will tell you why again.
No free ads, cores. Pay up, cores.
And I will tell you why I'm washing it out of the Coors Light, because I don't want to change. I don't want to change what's in my mouth right now. And Coors is kind of
an even keel. Yeah, gotcha.
Even keel beer. If I go with a real hoppy IPA or something like that, or a citrus forward, I'm going to change that. So I always take the first drink after that, let it sit for a little bit.
Yep.
And see where my mouth is at.
Yeah.
Right. This is weird. I'm a little bit weird, but I mean,
hey, doesn't matter. Listen, to each their own. As long as you enjoy how you eat it, that's all that matters. You have to be unique, and that's what this world is about. It's about being unique. It's about being out there and being yourself, unapologetically yourself. That's one of the things that I always try to put out there. It's like, look, man, I'm not your everyday, ordinary, Hollywood guy. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be. That's not my thing. I want to be myself. I don't need to be your ordinary food guy. I want to be myself. I want to be unique. The same thing with everything else. I mean, there's so many people out there that they just don't understand that being unique is being special. You want to be yourself. And you always want to be authentic. I pride myself on being unapologetically myself, and authentic as all hell. I'm not going to BS you. I'm not going to sit and tell you stuff. I'm not going to fart in your ear and tell you it's windy outside. You know what I mean? Like, it's at the end of the day, I'm gonna always give you 200%, and I hope that you'll give me at least 100 back. You know what I mean?
Let me put it in terms for other foodies out there about your personality, who you are. When we travel, because I'm a musician, entertainer on the road too. When we travel, we love to go to the local places.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's the only way to go.
Only way to go. It's those things that make a town unique. It's that heritage tourism. That's what makes each place unique. And because people are true usually to what they have, it's local. It's something that all the people, I love when something says where the locals eat. And I think that's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's you. There's no BS. You're not the chain restaurant every place. That's what we see with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I mean, the hot sauce is amazing. And the funny thing is that the case just came in yesterday. Right. I got this from my buddy Chris over at Raintree.
Thank you, Raintree, for supporting. I really appreciate that. Hopefully next time I'm out in Florida, out by the Melbourne area, I could stop by and see you for a while. If you guys want me to sign some bottles, I'll sign the bottles.
Definitely. I know they'll like to have you in. So Chris yesterday I said, hey, listen, I got to get this hot sauce. No one has it around here.
It just came out.
Right.
On Halloween. We launched on Halloween.
So I said, is there any way? Because the case just got there yesterday. So I went into one of the employees. I got a bottle. I'm like, so I've tasted it before Chris, which makes me really, really happy. So I'll razz him on that really good. But so they're the only place they can get it in town, which I think is awesome. We're actually going to do a launch of this for you live, a live launch there at Raintree.
Thank you.
Because I mean, I love your other products. I'm sitting here right now going, I would want to eat like 5 more crackers, but I have chicken and rice for lunch today. So this is
well, you can pour that on your chicken and rice.
I'm gonna. But I'm gonna ask you before you go. The Fast Five is like what I like to call. This is how we get to know somebody a little bit more than just we have been so fortunate to know you in a professional light. We're so fortunate now to know you on our taste buds, which sounds kind of weird. after I said it in my head. But
I'm a
fast
happily married. I'm a happily married man, my friend.
I
So
feel
you know.
the interesting thing was I was kind of gonna go you gotta check this out. I was gonna go with this behind me. Um
Where
because,
did you get that?
because I thought that it was probably apropos.
That's
I
funny.
could, like, reach up and scratch your beard for you. But
Where,
then
where is
then
that even from?
I'm gonna tell you. I have my sources. But then I was thinking, maybe I could go with something for the ladies, which is a little bit more
A little sassier, a little
sassy,
sexier. Yeah,
those
my
eyes.
camera angle's not so good right here. You got the ugly brim. I like the pretty brim better. Pretty brim is better because I'm pretty and I can still kick ass. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love that about you. But listen, so Fast Five, here's some questions to get to know you a little bit. Uh, your favorite music?
It's a cross between rap and metal. I grew up in Uniondale, New York, which was predominantly black neighborhood. So I grew up, all hip hop. I grew up with leaders of the New School, Busta Rhymes, and them. These were all friends of mine.
Great.
So like I grew up hip hop, and then I went to private school, and that was all metal. It was all white Jewish school. It was like a crazy, crazy, culture shock. So yeah, so metal and hip hop are my two. But I love it.
I always love white young Jewish kids rocking out to metal. It's my favorite. It really should have, the bar mitzvahs really are off the chain when there's metal playing in the background.
When I gotta tell you, man, what do you call it? One of the bar mitzvahs from back when Beastie Boys first came out, which was obviously a mix between rap and rock, and what do you call it? They had a big screen up and they were playing videos, and all of a sudden the Beastie Boys came up, and it was just the wildest thing you've ever seen. And there were a lot of religious kids with yarmulkes and everything there. I was like, all right, man, all right, I'm with you.
I was at a convention. I was performing in I can't remember Indianapolis of all places, and I was in my hotel and I was going the elevator and I was single at the time. These two beautiful women walked by and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? You should come to a party we're going to." And I said, "Oh yeah, all right." So I go to this party and it's a bar mitzvah, and it's just metal playing. This kid was like, and he gets up there and he's got his guitar, and it was the craziest party I'd ever been to in my life.
We know how to party, us Jews.
Dude. So, all right, number 2, favorite vacation destination.
Well, that's crazy to answer because right now I'm truly missing my Walt Disney World, truly missing Disney World. So if I'm doing my family vacation or vacation in general, love me some Disney and Universal Islands of Adventure. Those are my two favorite places to go. And then when I'm in signing in LA, I'll always go to Disneyland as well. So I am a Disney head. And what do you call it? If I'm thinking not what do you call it here in the United States, what do you call it? I'm thinking St. Thomas. So yeah.
So you're a Disney nerd. I love that. Me too.
St. Martin rather, not St. Thomas. St. Martin.
Okay, so this is super important. I was a fat child, and I am enjoying my dad bod now. So I work out less than I used to, but I am enjoying this. This really is going to tell me about you, Brim.
Okay.
Cereal as a kid.
Cereal as a kid. Fruity Pebbles, still Fruity Pebbles.
And still
Fruity Pebbles. And if you wanna know a little thing, I can break it here on the show. It was just literally while we're on, they just announced my announcement that I was supposed to be able to announce yesterday, but NDAs. So I just got the lead role in a video game called Serial Killers, and it's all based on serial characters. So I'm the Tony the Tiger version, Terror T. So I'm gonna have to start upping my Frosted Flakes, in my mornings. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Because they're
awesome.
great. So
okay, so you a car guy?
not really. Although I am absolutely in love with my car.
Favorite car to own. If you don't own it or have owned it, what's your favorite car?
The favorite car, my most favorite car that I actually own now is I have a Fiat 500L. And you might be going, wait, a Fiat? Why would you have a Fiat? When I tell you, I'm a big guy, okay? And I can sit in this car and it is so comfortable. There's more room in my Fiat than there is in my SUV. So what do you call it? I got to tell you, one of the best cars I've ever had. And yes, it's a little more expensive. It is, but it's got zoomies, which is amazing. It's got enough room for me to get around and do what I need to do. And what do you call it? It just looks cool, man. It's different. I like different. I like unique, and that's it.
Right. Usually I get people say, oh, I'm a 57 Chevy guy, 32 Ford Roadster. I love this.
I'm not a sports guy, man. I'm not a sports car guy. I'm not a sports guy. What do you call it? I enjoy things. I do enjoy like seeing a quality car, or something that's or getting into a car that's just like that somebody rebuilt with their hands, and like I dig that stuff. So don't get me wrong, I do dig it, but it's not like I wouldn't know. Oh, that's a '69, whatever the hell it is. My uncle's that guy. He has like some like '70s Corvettes and stuff like that, and I don't fit in them. I can't sit in them, so I can't enjoy them. You know what I mean? I'm too big. So
no, that is definitely a problem in older vehicles. I was on International Drive here in Orlando. I was in at the time I had a 1951 Ford Custom, and I'm stuck in traffic, and this big conversion van pulls up on the other side of the road looking at me, and I see this head poke around, and I hear, "Hey man, can I drive your car?" It was Shaq. And I said, okay. So I end up turning around, going to a parking lot because Shaq's such a big car guy. And so he gets out, like towering over me. And he's like, I can't drive your car. And I was like, yeah, man, you can't fit in it. But that's always the big thing. Since then, he's had so many amazing conversions done on cars. But I always like to hear what people's car choice is. I love that you found a car that's comfortable that you also love. Because a lot of times cars that are really comfortable aren't necessarily a vehicle people like driving or whatnot. So the final of the Fast Five questions: do you collect anything?
I collect the hearts of women. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
My wife is gonna slap me for that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So we are back in the hearts of women and the souls of men.
Listen, back when when I was thinner and better looking, maybe that was a thing. But what do you call it? No, what I collect is I collect memorabilia, my own memorabilia. I am that vain. I'm just kidding. I what do you call it? I collect a lot of different things. But what do you call it? It's nothing crazy to where you have like a zillion of like this or a zillion things of that. Like I don't have the room for it. I'm more about getting stuff for my kids, like my son. Like I'm a knife collector. So so to answer your question, yes, I collect knives. What do you call it? I have, all different types of knives. I don't know if you could see it up there is a samurai sword that was made for me. It's the Brimstone sword. What do you call it that they did, and they sold it for a while. What do you call it? And did very well, thank God, knock on wood. But what do you call it? So I'm a sword guy. I'm a knife guy, and my son has taken that torch. I've passed it on to him, and so now rather than buying it for me, because I'm gonna be gone one day, and I'll just passing it straight to him. So I'll pick stuff up for him. My one thing that I have a little bit of an addiction to is the Funko Pop characters. What do you call it? So like I will get. Here it is. Being a pop culture guy, and being that's one of my claims to fame. Knock on wood. What do you call it? The I can't go into a store without seeing a toy or shirt or something that has one of my friends on it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So like like an a-hole, I'm sitting there going, oh, it's Ray who's Darth Maul, you know what I mean, or Snake Eyes, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get a Darth Maul, and this way next time I see him, I'll make him sign it for the studio, or what do you call it, a Mario or Luigi, like Charles Martinet is one of my closest friends, who does the voice for Nintendo's Mario and Luigi, and who also loves my sauce, by the way. He loves my sauce. He just posted about it yesterday. What do you call it? But yes, seeing that, I'll have to get something. I'll say, all right, well, I'll put it in, for the studio and stuff like that. Cause I don't have a need for like signatures. These are my friends, and I'll call them up and say hello, or get a hug and see them. I don't need the stuff, but it looks really cool in the studio. So when people come in, they can see it. So for me, I'm constantly buying these pop characters of friends, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, I have all these things, but now I'm not seeing anybody because we're in quarantine. So now, now I've got things all over the place, and but I'll get them all signed to it eventually. So I hope I'm making sense.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I always love to see what people collect. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been a collector for years of so much crap. The other half of this studio is full. I mean, I have a huge vintage microphone collection.
Oh, that's
Uh,
awesome.
Being a singer as well as broadcasting, I love old microphones. But anyhow,
Do you have any Bayer Dynamics?
I don't, man.
Oh, shame on you.
I know.
I'm endorsed by Bayer, so I have to say it. Even though don't look at this. This is not a Bayer. But well, the story behind that is that what do you call it? The quarantine came so fast that we didn't have time. We had to shut the studio down temporarily. Well, I mean, close the studio temporarily because we were like, all right, well, everything's getting shut down. And by the time I got in contact with my Bayer people to say we need to move everything to home studios, so I needed product, they were already shut down. I couldn't get the product from them like I normally would. So I had to think quick, and I got from these guys real fast. So
Oh,
don't mind my Yeti.
I don't know if I can switch. I don't know if I can switch here. The microphones are up there by the TV,
Oh, that's beautiful.
but yeah, just I'm nuts about vintage microphones. I'm so grateful, bro, that you took the time to talk to me about this. It's definitely, I love knowing that you're still producing stuff from the heart,
Thank you.
and putting stuff out there that you were proud of. You're one of the few people that I've now personally spoken to on here that is. I always when I interview chefs, I always say, when does it become a plate of passion and turn into a plate of profit?
Yeah.
And I always feel like profit comes when you're just doing you.
That's what it is. And I'm not rich. I'd love to be, but I don't need to be. You know what I mean? One of the things that I said, and I know you got to close out the show. I apologize. I talk too much. When I was just on the something, I forgot what it was. It might have been one of the Facebook groups. I don't know, man. There's so many different things, and there are a lot of celebs out there that are going for the money grab. They go for the money grab all the time. They don't care about quality. They don't care about the audience. They just care about the money grab. And for me, it's not about the money. It's about leaving my legacy on the world. And if I make some money along the way, that's great. Yes, I have a family. I have 3 kids, my wife, you know what I mean? I have bills to pay, and so yeah, please support me. You know what I mean? I really appreciate the support, and at the end of the day, what do you call it? Obviously money makes the world go round, but that's not what I'm there for. I'm there because I love the community. I love being a part of things. I love being able to do things like this and have conversations with people. And people. I've done so many different things, and I know you guys are pretty big in what you do. There's other people, like I'll do kids that have a new podcast, and they go, oh, we'd love to have you as a guest. Sure, no problem. And I'm the only person in the entire row of celebs that would do an interview with them, because I believe that everybody deserves that opportunity. You know what I mean? To have that shot, because I was given an opportunity, and if I wasn't given that opportunity, you know what I mean? Who knows what would happen? I mean, I've got a drive, I've got that push behind me that makes me want to get things done. But it always takes that one person or that one opportunity to kind of take you to the next level. And so for me, it's all about community. It's all about the people. If you follow me on Instagram, especially, I
Yeah, I
will
was
respond to you. Please, at the real Brimstone on Instagram. I promise you, you write to me as long as I see it, and I will eventually if I don't right away. But if it's anything on my page, I will eventually see it, and I will respond to you. Sometimes the notifications go by fast. If I don't see something, I apologize. But at the end of the day, I engage with me. That's what I want. I'm currently looking for some more ambassadors, what do you call it, to help me and to help engage and to keep, my eye out on things and do more things with the fans and with my audience. Cause again, I everybody uses the word fans, and I try to not use it as much. I've been trying to just use the word my audience, because the audience, we're all in this together. You know what I mean? And that's my take. Also, and I know again, you want to go, but please check out my book, Brimisms. What do you call it? It's what do you call it? Book of inspirational, motivational quotes.
We can get that.
at thegrindhouseradio.com. I have it on the store there exclusively on purpose. The forward is done by, like I mentioned, Charles Martinet earlier, the voice of Mario Luigi. He did the forward for me. And again, it is a whole bunch of just motivational things that I think will help anybody having a down day or they just need that push.
So important right now.
Yeah.
Mental
And the
health.
Grindhouse Radio, thegrindhouseradio.com. What do you call it? You can catch every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What do you call it? A new guest every single week, every different genre of entertainment. And yeah, man, come get your fix.
That's it. Man, thank you so much. I am forever grateful. This hot sauce is amazing.
Thank you.
I want to thank Mel and Chris at Raintree. They have your hot sauce. They're the only place you can get it in Central Florida right now, I believe. The Torchstone tie by my man Brimstone. I got the only bottle that's open right here, which I love. It's coming on lunchtime, so I can't wait to have some more. It's been absolutely great talking to you, my man.
Thank you, brother.
I hope when you're in town we can get together.
Absolutely.
I'll take you to some of the best local places, and we will have a great time. But you stay safe.
You too.
Stay you, man, because you're an awesome guy, and we appreciate having you on here at TC Topics.
Thank you so much, brother.